Hello and welcome. Thank you for being here and joining us on this incredible Summer Solstice in Africa event where we are celebrating light, love, and abundance. So, thank you for being here with us. Now, you could be watching us on YouTube, you could be watching us on my public page, or you could be watching us in the private group. Now, it doesn't matter where you are, you will be receiving the wisdom, the transmissions, and the magical energies that are going to be shared by my guests today. So, without any further ado, let's get cracking. And I see that we are just one member. We're still waiting for her, but let me introduce you to the group of ladies, women of the light, who've come together to be part of this magical event where we're lighting up Africa. And like I always say, when South Africa lights up, Africa will light up. And when Africa lights up, the world will light up too. So thank you to all of you for being here. Now, in no specific order, no hierarchy in this group, but I'm just introducing you to the people that were part of this magical collaboration and in order of how they're going to show up today. So the first person I'd love to introduce you to is the amazing Anaya Ariana Gold, who is a life coach and an energy healer. Hello, Anaya.
Hi, everybody.
Thank you very much, Your Highness, for being with us today. The second person is Natalie Dumourney Maharaj. And for those of you who have also been part of my group, you would have interacted with some of Natalie's material. And Natalie is an intuitive artist, a quantum oracle, and a quantum dark arts defense practitioner. Hello and welcome, Natalie.
Hi, everyone.
Thank you for being here, Natalie. Now we've got Michaela, if I'm pronouncing her surname correctly, because I just know her as Michaela, Bakos Rapaska. And Michaela is a Druid spiritual guide. Now, I didn't tell you where the other two people were from, but Michaela was born in Slovakia in Europe and now lives in Ireland. Welcome, Michaela.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me here. Thank you.
Awesome. Then we have Ilse van Balen. Ilse is a luminary, a creatrix, and a new paradigm mentor. Now, Ilse and Natalie hail from South Africa, and Anaya is ex-South African, now in the UK. So welcome, Ilse.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Awesome. And finally, for now, we have Elizabeth Dillon Berkovici. Hopefully I spelled Berkovici.
Good job. Perfect.
I had asked her, am I pronouncing your name correctly? And I made her pronounce it first. So it's Elizabeth. And I love this about Elizabeth. Elizabeth is an imagination activator, a writer, a story mentor, a bardic priestess, a creativity coach, an energy healer, and a new paradigm teacher. So when I said to all of you, and welcome Elizabeth, thank you for being here. Awesome. Now our final speaker and collaborator for today, Guni Hernandez, is still on her way and she will be here shortly. But when I said to you that a group of high-frequency women of the light are coming together, well, you know what happens. There's always magic when we come together. So for South Africa, this is a bit of an odd one, right? That all of us are coming together in this way on such a platform, such a visible platform to celebrate summer solstice, because we always hear about this in the Northern Hemisphere. But we thought that, as you know, right now, we've got 3 people up in the Northern Hemisphere. Well, 3 of us are down in the South, in Africa, 3 up in Europe, and we've got Elizabeth in the US. So it's quite an interesting experience for all of us today, because we are actually bringing together a beautiful synergy between what's happening in the north and what's happening in the south on this very momentous day. And these gorgeous women have all said yes to being part of the magic making events of today. So thank you for being here, all of you. So, Natalie, are we going to put everybody else in the green room, and then you and I are going to, well, get on with the show for today?
Yep, let's go.
Awesome. Let's do that. So, just to let our viewers know what we're doing, we're just going to remove some of our guests for today so that we can have more space together as each person comes on, and then you can get the full experience with whoever's on the screen. So I think, Natalie, before you start, maybe let's just remind people what's the importance of the solstice. And, this being a time of abundance, this being a time of rejuvenation, introspection, and going deep within. And I think that's such a magical, magical place for us to start our discussion today. And for our viewers, although I'm the host, Natalie is going to be, well, my interviewer today. We're just swapping roles whilst we're sitting right here. We're just swapping roles. And Natalie will now take it from here. So, Natalie, over to you.
So, Mona, I was so excited when I heard that you were traveling to Mpumalanga. It is my all-time favorite place. I remember it since I was a little girl, and there's just a magical energy about the place. So tell us a bit more as to where you went and what drew you there.
Wow. Thanks, Natalie. That's a beautiful question. Now, for everybody, you can see that Natalie's in a white cream and I'm in yellow, because we thought, what better way? Wherever you are around the world, you get to experience the magnificent sun of Africa. So what drew me to Mpumalanga? If I'm not mistaken, do they call that like the city of the sun or the sunny city? Or there's something about the sun related to that place, right? And when you think about it, I've always seen that the people from up that way are always smiling, because I've got really good friends from that part of the world, that part of the country. But Mpumalanga was calling, and it was as if there was this deep, deep connection. And then I find out about Adam's calendar. It's right there in Waterval Boven. And as you know, Natalie, you were close to Adam's calendar recently. You were in Waterval Boven, that area. And you know how magical the stone circles of Southern Africa is.
It absolutely is. I mean, I didn't realize that there were stone circles the first time I stayed in Watervalboven. I went there to go and climb, but it was just such a peaceful place. It's so tranquil. It's the, like I told you, it's my favorite place in South Africa. And I never knew why. And like a few weeks before you went to Watervalboven, you went there. Before you went there, I went there. And I was guided to be there. And it's just such a magical place. And I don't know why, but I just feel so sovereign when I'm there, so safe. What was your experience like being around the stone circle, and particularly being around Adam's calendar?
Yeah. Now, like you said, Natalie, it was this overwhelming, and I'm saying it like that, overwhelming sense of peace. It was almost foreign to my system. Being in Adam's calendar, because sometimes you're not sure what to experience when you go to sacred sites. because you either can experience if there was anything weird going on in the space or the energies were overwhelming, we tend to feel it, especially those that are very sensitive to energies. But when I stepped into Adam's calendar, and then there were other stone circles as well that we had visited on that weekend, there was just this sense, this peace within. It's as if that deepest part of me was touched by this magical, sacred frequency that was in Adam's calendar. I can see that you're feeling that as well. Because
Absolutely.
yeah, that's what it was. Because it was like as if there was this remembrance to something that was so magnificent about South Africa. There was this remembrance of what was so magical about Africa. There was this remembrance about who we really are, these infinite, magnificent beings. And all it took was just standing there in and amongst the ruins. That's all it took.
Yeah, magical, absolutely magical. And can you tell me more about Adam's calendar? Because I didn't get to experience that. I have watched a lot of documentaries on it, and I always wanted to go there, but it wasn't meant to be just yet. So I would love to know more about that.
Okay, so Adam's calendar. Now think about this. We live in South Africa, and how many even South Africans know about this sacred site? Very few. I mean, people I've spoken to were like gobsmacked. But when you say Stonehenge, everybody seems to know Stonehenge. But Adam's calendar is considered the Stonehenge of South Africa, and it is said to be older than the pyramids of Giza and Stonehenge. When they first sort of estimated the age of it, they said it was about 75,000 years old. Then further research showed it to be about 200,000 plus years. Yes. So it is said to be the oldest man-made structure on Earth. Now, I'm deliberately emphasizing certain things, right? Because I think it's important for us as South Africans to know what our divine heritage is. Because very often we kind of like the stepchildren of the world, you know, we kind of like these, the Cinderellas of the world, like we get whatever is handed down to us. It's about reigniting that fire within us, reigniting the gold that's within us. And this is why we've come together on this summer solstice, right? So Adam's calendar was only discovered, can you believe it, in 2003. And I think it was in the 1970s, if I'm not mistaken, that it was declared. That whole area was declared like a heritage site. It falls under the Blue Swallow Nature Reserve, if I'm not remembering correctly. But it was because Johann Haynes, one of his pilots, had crashed on the escarpment, and he went looking for his pilot and noticed the strange rock formation. And what they realized after that, Michael Tellinger came in. And for those of you who know Michael Tellinger, he's just phenomenal with the investigation of Adam's calendar and going deep into the spiritual understanding of Adam's calendar. But the whole thing is said to be a calendar, right? But it's linked when Johann went there and then brought Michael in and various researchers and scientists from around the world, then shamans and spiritual leaders and teachers and healers that have all come into the property. It doesn't matter whether people came from the science background or from a spiritual or religious background. Everybody felt the energies of that place. Everybody knew it was a sacred site, right? And so basically, it's perfectly aligned to northeast, southwest. It's perfectly aligned to the equinoxes. It's perfectly aligned to the solstice. And what is directly opposite Adam's calendar, when you stand on that escarpment, you see these two mounds. Now, the Western researchers have not wanted to admit that these are actually pyramids. But below that, Barberton, which is the town across from it. I mean, I don't know. I've heard about Barberton many years ago, but I didn't realize it was such a significant town in South Africa. Barberton has got some of the richest mines in the world.
Oh my
And
goodness.
yes, and Sheba mine, there's this legend that, Queen Sheba, that, well, her kingdom was down there, right? So we
Wow.
have so much of gold, and up until today, those are the richest gold mines in the world. Now, if we know about the Anunnaki, right? It is said that Adam's calendar is actually Enki, the king, the
Mm.
extraterrestrial gods of the Sumerian times, that was his calendar. And we all know how much the Anunnaki loved gold. So no
Yeah.
wonder they came here to Africa, to Southern Africa. But there's just so much about it. We can go on talking about Adam's calendar for days, and we still would not have to scratch the surface of the
Mm.
information that's available.
But it's just so good to know that Africa, South Africa, has all these riches, this abundance, yet we have been conditioned to believe that we are impoverished, that we are less than. Yeah, it's amazing, and just thank you for sharing that, because so like people need to know this.
Yeah.
We need to know how significant we are in the South, that we are not less than those in the North, that we are equal, and that we have a role to play. But yeah, there were. Oof, it's a magical sight. Oh my goodness.
Absolutely.
Can you tell us more about any of your other travels? Because I also saw that you interacted with a lot of game, and you were like surrounded by magnificent magical trees.
Yeah. Now that whole area, just think about it, wherever you go in the world, right? Sacred sites are power spots. They are places where there are positive vortexes. Now, do you know we have some of these stone circles actually help with healing the body naturally? And for the people, just to give a little bit of background about stone circles, many people thought that they were places of dwellings and kraals for animals. These were power spots. They were specifically, if you look at aerial photographs of them, they have sacred geometric shapes like flower shapes, right? Because there's this
Mm.
frequency of sound, and it's found that sound is what brought the gold up to the surface. We didn't have to drill
Wow.
into the ground, right? And that's why I say,
Wow.
if we want to respect Mother Earth, if we want to respect nature, we don't have to destroy it. We have to do what the ancients did. Just by the way, the rocks that are there in Adam's calendar are dolomite rocks. It is not
Mm.
natural to the environment. So the
Oh wow.
dolomite rocks exactly were brought from quite a distance away. And if you believe in giants, you would know that the legend is that the giants brought that as well, but not just that, but that they use sound frequencies to as hovercraft, to move things with sound. Now, just by the way,
Wow.
for whoever watched Black Panther, right? When they showed the technology in Africa, whoever did that knew exactly what they were
Mm.
resurrecting in Africa, because that's what we have. We have the ancient wisdom, and it's not just in South Africa and Africa, it's all over the world. But if Adam's calendar is said to be the real cradle of humankind, that Enki and the Anunnaki created humanity there. Now, there's many beliefs about where humanity comes from, right? But
Yeah.
that's the legend, that Enki and the Anunnaki decided, instead of them going and mining gold, hey, let's create a group of people who'll do it for us. So that's how humanity came about. And that's what we are being called right now, to connect with that frequency. And then to answer your question, There are magical wild horses there right around that whole Kaapsehoop area, and they go for quite a few kilometers, and they're in the forest around Adam's calendar. Now we all know the magic of horses, and for those of you who unicorns, you know what they represent, right? So the magic exists in South Africa in all her forms. Whether you go out into the bush, and the Kruger Park, by the way, is just a short distance away from there, and we know the magical animals, lion, the cheetah, the leopard, the elephant, the rhino, you name it. It's just a stone's throw away. So we live in a country, we live on a continent where these are just like part of our everyday experiences, yet they are so significant to who we are and what we get to choose and experience every single day.
Oh, that gave me goosebumps. Oh, geez. Yeah, I have. Yeah, I've also heard about the sound and that you could actually use the stones to. They all vibrate at different frequencies. I even watched. I basically got introduced to Adam's calendar and the stone circles, not because of South Africans, but there was I think it's an Australian artist that actually came to use the stones at Adam's calendar to create music. So it's like known by other people except South Africans. But it's going to change.
Absolutely.
We're going to change it.
Absolutely. And I guess that's part of it today. It may be a summer solstice celebration. We may all be dressed up in our interesting ceremonial gear because, after all, it is a celebration. But today is a celebration of the South African people, of the African people, of the people of the Southern continent. It's a celebration of light that shines on our continent almost all the time. We don't have to go looking for it. But until we understand how we are to use that light for our healing, to activate our prosperity, to activate our abundance, to use that healing, the light to activate our gifts. Because think about what light is. Light is power, right? Light brings to our visibility, brings to our forefront, brings everything in front of us. Nothing can hide in the light, even our own shadows. That's why this journey is for the outer and it's for the inner, because nothing shows up on the outer until it first shows up within us. So we have to find that light within.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mona.
You're welcome.
I think we're running out of time.
That's
sure.
We've got 5 minutes more.
Do we?
So
Okay, great.
Please go ahead.
There is one more thing I would like to ask you. What was your experience like standing in Adam's calendar or in the stone circles? Did you feel any special sensations? What was your experience like?
Okay. Now, some people that were there with us didn't really feel anything. And then because there were just 7 of us that went in there, and we went with Michael Tellinger. But for me, it was me remembering who I am. It was all the lies that I was told, that all of us were told about who we are not. It was as if something was erased from me. It was as if all that conditioning, all that indoctrination of limitation was being erased, but it was done in such a gentle, loving way. It was because we stood on the slab of rock that was used where if I'm remembering correctly, the 7 priestesses were impregnated, because remember, the Anunnaki were known for cloning. right? Where they were impregnated with the DNA for the humanity, for the human race. And when we stood there, it's as if something else was happening in that space. It's as if I was being cleansed and cleared to receive the gifts that we are receiving in the new world. Because remember, the beautiful Mahatma energy is here. It's been here. But many of us didn't know how to pull it in. Many of us didn't know how to receive it. And the Mahatma energy, just by the way, it's not linked to Mahatma Gandhi. It's actually the highest energy, the most important energy that's out there, for all of us to embrace, to have, to use. And this is what it's all about, that golden white frequency. I literally felt that I was being activated. And just by the way, I didn't know at that time that I was being activated with the Mahatma energy. It's only about 2 weeks ago that information came through, that what I was actually receiving on the side was a reactivation, like being opened to more freely receive the Mahatma energy. Because the Mahatma energy is beyond the Christ consciousness energy. The Christ on consciousness energy is about us understanding ourselves. The Mahatma energy is the one where it's beyond us. This is where we fully understand we are not connected, we are one. That's the difference between the two. And that is when, and that's why Mahatma Gandhi, Mohandas Gandhi was called Mahatma Gandhi, great soul, because he understood that we are here to do beyond ourselves. We are beyond our businesses. We are beyond our families. We are here as one.
Wow, that's powerful. And thank you for clarifying that, because I always assumed Mahatma energy is because of his soul. So thank you for clearing that up.
Yeah, that's like we say, we can have a conversation about that on another day. But like today we've got a whole host of magical people. So we'll.
Hi, Mona. I'm not sure if you can hear me. My screen is frozen.
We can see you, Natalie. We can hear you.
Great. Yeah. Everything's fine again. Great.
Yeah, everything's fine again. So, did I share enough for you with you today, Natalie, that would have benefited our audience?
I think so. It definitely benefited me. I've gained so much of information and knowledge. And thank you, because when you speak as well, I can feel what you're sharing. I can feel the energy. So thank you for that experience as well, and for shining your light. We need this in our country. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Natalie. And like I said, we're going to have a conversation again about the Mahatma energy and more about our sacred sites, because like you correctly said, the people of South Africa have to reconnect to our divine heritage. We have to reconnect to what is rightfully ours, not borrowing it, not being handed down by somewhere else. And by the way, we know that we celebrate the solstice before the North, because even in time-wise, we are ahead of the North. So let's claim our rightful place, South Africa and Africa.
Awesome.
Awesome. So are you saying bye now, Natalie? Are we switching roles again?
Yes. I'll say bye. And I'll go and listen to the rest from the back.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Natalie. We'll see you in a while. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Okay. Now we're going to bring Michaela on. Hello, gorgeous Michaela.
Hello, Mona, and hello, all beautiful souls. Thank you for having me. It's really my honor to be with you today, and I feel very excited.
Oh, wonderful. Michaela, it was so wonderful when you joined the party, the festivities for the summer solstice, because right there by you are celebrating winter solstice as well, correct?
Yes, it's correct, Mona. And it's amazing and powerful. I just listened to what you say, the message, what you receive about we are all one. And I received the message for this beautiful ceremony.
Yeah.
It was let's celebrate together. And it exactly has that meaning that today in the northern hemisphere we celebrate winter solstice, and it's the longest night of the year, which also in the southern hemisphere we celebrate summer solstice, where the sun is it's in its peak of the light, so the longest day of the year. And it was that connection that let's celebrate together to create that beautiful balance, that beautiful synergy of light of the sun and moon. And we are actually in that magnificent connection as above, so below. So in that beautiful spiral energy, which create a symbol of infinity, we are now in that vortex. So it's really, it was really honored to be here and to be part of it. Thank you so
Well,
much.
that's just magical, Michaela. Now, Michaela, I know that you have well prepared, been guided to share with us process today. So, is it okay if we hand over to you now so you can lead us in that?
Yes, Mona, thank you very much. I will be it will be my pleasure. Uh, I have a few words. I will say just a little bit about just the sun, and then I will start and follow. I will lead some kind of opening celebration and activation of the light, and maybe some miracles can happen today.
Yeah.
So, and just remind something that today it's actually the time to dream big and set up goals, to take your time to self-reflection and spend more time with yourself to rejuvenate and warm up. Also more if you are in the north part of the hemisphere, and on the other side, on the south, it's time to create the abundance and manifest that your dream that you were dreaming, like we are here in the north now, because it's time to energize this and bring fruits to blossom. Celebration of the sun, it's connecting also with the celebration of Mother Earth, because it's the celebration of light and soil. Both are nutritions for our body, mind, and spirit. And sun is a symbol of light, but also it is life and vital energy. And as element of fire, it has the cleansing power. We here, as the Celtic traditions, they celebrate with the festivals during the summer, which involve dancing, and it has the rituals of lighting bonfires, which was usually put on the hills, on the tops. Just behind me, you can see it's a Tara hill. It's really sacred hill here in Ireland, in the middle of Ireland. And it symbolized that these lighting bonfires, it's like a sun when it reaches its highest point. So they used to lighting the wheels of fire, which were rolled down to the hill, and it was like symbol that sun is going back into the darkness then after this night. So nights then becomes longer. And it was like druids, it was says, used to celebrate or are celebrate also summer solstice festival, which called Alban Herium. I love this name because its meaning is the light of the shore. And at that time, they would celebrate the victory of light over dark. But also, it's acknowledged that the nights will get longer, so it will bring it that sun and moon together. So sun as the element of fire and moon as the element of water. So again, it will create and keep that balance. It's very important. In my country, which I came from, Slovakia, we also celebrate summer solstice with lighting bonfires. and it's on day the 24th of June we used to do, and it has some magic. It says it's most powerful night in the year because it's magical, and even the herbs during the night, when you collect the herbs for tea or for healing, it has the most healing power. And also it's the night where you can find treasure in the forest or wherever you go. But I must say, and I believe that tonight you, whoever is here with us, whoever is connected, can find your treasure as well, because your treasure is here in your heart. So I would like to lead you to opening celebration and activation of light. And I believe may miracles happen for you. Let's celebrate together. It is my honor to be with you. Let's spread a joy and harmony, love and compassion, wealth and happiness together. Let's connect to our ancestors and ask them for help and wisdom in these times, now all in balance and harmony within all it is. Let's create a wave of love and peace. Let's call the rainbow and all elements to join us in harmony and balance for all it is. Let's make rain where rain is most needed in Africa now. And let's grow healthy food and fruits. With every sunrise comes new day, new beginning, new life. Sunlight is spreading over the places and warm up lands, shining its light as happiness and beauty. When you sit on sun, it's charged you with life, that giving energy and flows with.
I think Michaela's just frozen on her side. We'll give her a moment to come back, because I think the energy that she was shifting was quite significant. I'm sure you felt that. But just be in that energy. Feel the drumming. It's still going on. She'll be back just now. And just feel that drumming. Feel the resonance, because we were talking about sound. And we may not have realized how important sound really is. And coming from Africa, we know the African drum beat. As soon as Michaela comes back, I'll let her in. But I want you to feel that drum beat. We have grown up with this drum beat. We have grown up with being around a fire. We have grown up with sitting around in a circle, but we've forgotten those practices. We've forgotten how to connect with Mother Nature. We've forgotten how to connect with the earth. So whilst we're waiting for Michaela to get back in, like we say, this is part of it. When you do live streams, interesting things happen. So we'll wait for Michaela to come back, and if she doesn't show up in the next 5 minutes, then perhaps it's time for us to bring the next person in. But let's give her some time. Just bathe in that frequency that you felt through the drumming. Bathe in the frequency of Michaela's words. Feel that energy. Feel that shifting. We've asked for something better in South Africa. We've asked for something better wherever we are in the world. And now's the moment. Well, we have a few days until we step into 2022. And many of you have already felt the frequency of 2022 for a while now. And I guess coming together like this, we're just readying you for all the gifts that await you and your loved ones. And the question is always, are you ready to receive it? Will you allow yourself to receive it? When will you allow yourself to receive it? Because the time is now. So I'm not seeing Michaela in right now. Let's just see. Nope, I'm not seeing Michaela in right now. I'm wondering, let's just see. Let's pop into Anaya and we'll check with Anaya whether we have any word on Michaela.
She's right offline. I think she's completely disconnected. So, and of course, because she's in trance, she won't know that she's disconnected. So probably best to carry on with our next guest.
Awesome, we'll do that. Thank you, Anaya, and you'll let us know as soon as I'll be able to see when she's back, and then we'll see whether we have to do her session again, the meditation part when she gets
But
in.
her meditation is happening, even though we can't see it. The message and the vibrations are being transmitted to us.
Awesome. Can you just share a little bit about that, Anaya, so that people understand how that works? Because many people may not be familiar with understanding how transmissions still work, even though the person is not here in front of them.
When something is done with intention, the intention travels. And even though one may not be aware of it, and this is, one can see this with distance healing that we do, that although one may not know that the healing is happening, the energy is transmitted, because ultimately we are all energy, and that's all we are. And especially with sound vibration, that vibrations will travel.
Thank you so much, Anaya. I see Michaela here.
Is she back?
Yes, she's back. Let me just
Thank
bring her
you.
in. Yes, thank you
Thank
for
you.
explaining that, Anaya. Thank you so much. Awesome. All right, let's get Michaela back in.
Hi everyone. Sorry, I apologize. I was to try to connect, but it started raining here in Ireland, and connection went off. So I hope somewhere miracles happens, and in Africa just raining whenever it needs to come to rain. So it's hard to maybe go to. I'm sorry, I have it. I need to put. I was trying to connect the phone. Here we go. I have the echo. So I hope we can go again back to that ceremony. It's we were disconnected, but we can do it. We can do it. So let's go and let's connect and reconnect where we stop.
Awesome.
Hey you, who are you? Do not hide behind. Let's dance together and celebrate sun. Let's jump over the fire, but be careful, but find courage. Let's sing together. Make this wave of light and love spread around the world in discourse. Let's move to your own rhythm, your own music. which only you can hear from inside. Here light comes from inside out, from outside in. Let's move together. Let's try to move to the right, to the left, to the right, to the left. Let's dance together to create this beautiful wave around the world. Wherever you are now, just listen your rhythm in your heart. We dance and honor Mother Earth. I must give an honor to every animal, as each of them has its own role to play. I pray for harmony and balance and safety for animal kingdom in Africa. I pray for peace and ability to find your wisdom, ability to connect to your ancestors and your land, your culture, your traditions. Celebrate your ancestors, celebrate nature as you always did. Life and create harmony with nature as you always did. Take only soul what you need. Keep balance and do not let anyone to harm and steal. Let's find your courage to stand out. As elephants can find the water and they can remember, as each from animal kingdom, they can play a big role to keep balance in nature, in your land, for them, for humanity, so you can remember to find your balance. That balance is in all it is. I see your heart. I see your face. I see what difference you make. I see where your power is. I see where your weakness is. I see your beauty. I see your strength. I see your happy. I see love. I see hope. I see faith. I see you. I have a gift for you. Let's open your heart, open your mind, and connect to your roots. Now open your palm and allow yourself to receive your seeds. Receive seeds of love, seed of light, seed of happiness, seed of balance, seed of creation, seed of gratitude, seed of help, seed of harmony, seed of peace, seed of joy, seed of abundance, seed of seed itself. when sun comes to peak, it creates the 3 streams of light and shine down all over the place. Listen, I have 3 gifts for you. This first stream of light, may you find your hope. In second stream of light, may you are surrounded by unconditional love, the power of all powers. In third stream of light, we are giving you blessings now, here, at this very moment. Be blessed and shine your light. Also, your ancestors are giving you blessings. Take their wisdom and do well. Spread all seeds you just received in harmony and balance within all it is. Be blessed, Africa. Be blessed, all beautiful souls who are joining us here. Be blessed and celebrate. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Michaela. Thank you. Because you're leading us into, I think the exact time for the solstice here in South Africa is 5:58 p.m. So you're leading us into this magnificent time with this beautiful expansion of our hearts and these beautiful gifts of light, of unconditional love and blessings. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Much love and light to you all. Thank you. Thank you, Mom.
Thank you, Michaela. Whew, that feels just powerful. Michaela, whilst I've still got you here, you know, in South Africa, it's foreign to see, and I'm going to say it like this, a white person playing the drums, calling on ancestors, right? And it's such a significant part of our culture, no matter who we are in South Africa. Right? And I guess it's important for people to see it doesn't matter where you are in the world. This connection to our ancestors is an integral part of us moving forward and embracing the new world.
It's beautifully said, yeah, Mona. I feel the same, because it is very important that we connect to our roots. And whenever we are, do not hide. Be brave to show who you really are and trust your guidance. Don't let your power to give someone else. It's what you feel inside you. And don't be ashamed to show who you are.
I love that. That's really, really, that hits at a very core place for me, and I know for many South Africans. That shame of being who we are, because we seem to come from a dark world. We seem to come from a very dense world. And yet there's so much of light in South Africa and Africa. There's so much of beauty in South Africa and the whole world. Right? And it's remembering who we are, remembering our essence, remembering our light. So, Michaela, thank you for that gift. Thank you for that magical, not one gift, but many gifts today. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And be blessed. Thank you.
Thank you, Michaela. Wow, please do let us know what was your experience with Michaela's activation. So, Michaela, we're going to say bye to you now, and we'll bring you back at the end with everyone else. Ciao. So, next we've got Ilza. Gorgeous Ilse. I'm just checking where Ilse is. There we go. Hello, Ilse. How was that, Ilse?
Hello.
Did you enjoy Michaela's
Wow,
session?
my whole body is vibrating like that. I hope I can do what I have to do. That was lovely, Michaela. Thank you so much.
That was awesome, right? Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely magical. Don't you just love it? I mean, we always speak about this, right, Ilse? That we're here in South Africa and we connect with the most amazing people across the world.
Exactly. And then in the end, we find out we are the same. At hearts, we are connected. Yeah,
Exactly. That we're all one and we just like different aspects of us are all around the world. Right?
exactly. Yeah.
Wow. So Ilse, you also leading into the, potent summer solstice energies right now. Are you ready for what you're going to share with South Africa and the world and just for us South Africans? You're going to be gobsmacked. And I'm using that word specifically. What Ilse is going to share with you today. I had goosebumps when we were doing our test run earlier. And she didn't even do the whole thing. She was just, we were just testing it out. You're going to be gobsmacked when you understand the significance of this country here in South Africa, the significance of the Cape. And Ilse, I'm going to leave it to you now. I'm going to let you take us. Did you get to your PowerPoint? Because I'm not seeing it on my screen at the moment,
Yes,
Ilse.
can I put share screen up now? And then
Let's
I'll
do
just bring it in.
absolutely. So to our viewers, whilst Ilse's getting her slides together, let us know what's been your experience so far with the information shared, with the energy transmission now from Michaela.
Oh
How's
my
your day?
God.
No, it's fine. It's okay. You've got it there. We've tried it earlier. Don't worry.
Um,
I'm sure it's Michaela's energies that still. It was so powerful.
I've got
That's
it
okay.
open on my screen, but now I just don't know how to get it with you. I did say share screen.
Yeah. It's not shown up yet. It was there earlier.
And
Try it again and see. Okay, let me see. I think it's come up. Yeah, it's coming up now. Okay, there we go. All right.
so, but now I don't see you anymore. Is that right?
Fine. You
Shouldn't I
carry
be?
on. So, yeah, you carry on. I can hear you and I can see you.
Okay, so is it still on now?
Yeah, it's still on. You take us through it. I think you want to go back
Okay.
to your slideshow because now we're seeing, yeah, there we go. That's perfect. You can go with that now.
Okay. So, if we look at Table Mountain and the Cape Peninsula, on the photo that you see now, Table Mountain is to the right, and then you've got the whole peninsula going down to the right side. And right at the point is Cape Point. So along this area, you get all the chakra points of Table Mountain. And when you do sacred work, it's actually amazing when you do it on the sacred spots. You just get so much more from it. But also, just like we did with Michaela, even though we're not at the spot, you can also tune in and then get that energy from it.
Wow.
This is just a screenshot from the top. So here is the whole Cape Peninsula, falls by, and then South Africa goes on to that side. Now, right here at the bottom is Cape Point, where the root chakra of Table Mountain is. Then if you go a bit higher up at Scarborough, there's the second chakra or the sacral chakra. But on my journey working on the sacred spots of Table Mountain, I found a place close to Kalkbaai, Boomslang Cave, which is actually like a womb with a birthing canal, which is actually more representative for me as the sacral chakra.
Oh, wow.
Okay, and then if you go a bit higher up, close to Noordhoek in the Sun Valley and Glencairn area. You get the third chakra point. They actually call it the pyramid of the pyramid of the all-seeing eye. And exactly on this point now, where we are now, the sun is actually streaming through that point as we sit here at the moment. I'll show you a photo of that just now. And then just a bit higher up is the Ascension Cave, which is the heart chakra. And also right at the moment now, a group of people that I know are actually at that point at this moment. And it's a cave that's open in the front and the back, and the sun is streaming right through the cave. Okay, and then at Constantia Neck, you get the fifth chakra, the throat chakra, which is right on Constantia Neck. And then at the top of the peninsula where Stable Mountain is there, the third eye and the crown chakra is at that point. And I'll show you photos of that. The photo on the right-hand side, that is just how it really looks in real life from Cape Point here at the bottom. And they also call that the Cape of Storms. You can actually see all the tides and stuff going around there. It's quite a very busy and intense sea there. So one would not swim necessarily there. Okay, and then as it go up, Table Mountain is right on the other side. So if we go to Cape Point, so right there at the bottom at Cape Point, we have the root chakra. And here you can see the two hip bones that actually fall between the two hip bones. Here is the womb of the root chakra. So you can have really powerful ceremonies here in this point. And in the sea, about here, there's a rock. And waves are constantly breaking against that rock. It's almost, I call it the sperm germinator. It actually brings the sperm into the womb. And that's actually like really sitting there, germinating with new ideas and new seeds. So also a powerful time to sit there on special times like today. I remember on 2012, when they actually this big change of the world was foreseen. I was sitting at that point there. So it's really powerful places where one can be during this powerful time in solstices and full moons and stuff like that.
Wow,
okay, this is my sacred chakra point. Sorry, do you want to say something?
So that's incredible, Ilse. That's beautiful.
Yeah, this is Boomslang Cave, close to Kalkbaai. And this is the entrance. There's two entrances to Boomslang Cave. This one, if you look out straight in front of you, you will see Noordhoek Beach on that side. And towards the other side, you will more see Kalkbaai. And if you go into the cave on this side, these people are still walking into the cave. But when you come right deep into the cave, it is pitch dark. You can't see your hand in front of your eyes. There's nowhere a piece of light coming in. So that's a beautiful place to do also ceremonies of womb clearing or where new ideas can actually grow and become real. So you can really sit with the seeds that you brought in from the first chakra and have it in the womb and actually grow into wonderful ideas. And then when you go out, you have to sail on your stomach. It's like a real birth channel, so a canal. So you really have to go on your stomach and move out of the cave like that. And really bringing birth or rebirthing yourself or rebirthing a new idea into the world. Awesome place to go to. Okay, I've just added this one because this is a very feminine area. I don't know who of you know Llandudno. Llandudno, if you stand and you watch the beach of Llandudno, to the right-hand side, there's this whole sacred spot. There's like this big, beautiful rocks with a lot of feminine energy. You can actually see the feminine parts in the rocks, like the feminine organs and also the breast with the nipple. And this rock is a beautiful big cave, and the ancient indigenous people did a lot of their ceremony work in this cave. And once when I was there with a group, we just decided we are going to have a meditation and climbing into there, and we were going to do a guided meditation, but everybody just fell down, and for 40 minutes we were all just gone. And after 40 minutes, slowly one by one started to resurface, and it was almost like what I got is wiped out. So it was almost like the past was wiped out. It was time to really step into something new. So when we go to these powerful places, the energy of the land, of Mother Nature actually really helps and co-creates with us to bring our ideas into fruition. Okay, now we're going back on the path from the bottom to the top. This is also at Kalkbaai, the sacred tripod, which was a very significant place to be on the full moon. I think it was the 18th or the 19th of December was the full moon in Gemini. So at that time, close to when the sun went down, so the sun was going down on the west, and right opposite, a half an hour after the sun went down, the full moon came up on the opposite side, and it went straight through that center of the tripod. So that was this total alignment between the sun and the moon, which was also a very powerful place and a point to be, bringing that balance between the sun and the moon, that fire and the water within ourselves as well. So the next two is also very significant in today. This is the solar plexus area, which is really connected to the sun, and that's the pyramid of the all-seeing eye. It's really a very powerful place, and as you walk, it's a very easy walk from. There are two guardians. This is the one. I didn't have a picture of the other one. Looks like two fingers.
Ilse's in a remote part, or in a part of the country where the connection's not been very good recently, because there's been a lot of rain, and she's deep in the forest where she is. So we're lucky that she's come on this far. But I know she'll be back just now. So not to worry. This is part of everything. It's all magical. Because think about it. And I say this for South Africa. We're speaking about things that have been, well, I wouldn't say hidden, but being kept away from us in many ways. Either, deliberately kept away from us, like Adam's calendar and all the wisdom of it not even being in our history books or any of our history lessons, or that these specific places were, just not spoken about or shared with us in any way. And it makes sense if we know the energetics of the times, we are shifting into new frequencies. So any disturbances in technology, electricity, is just part of us understanding that there's many changes happening. So we go with the flow, because I guess that's what feminine energy is about. We don't get flustered. We don't get upset. We understand that it's part of the journey. And if you look at the part that Ilse is showing us, if you think about the Cape, it is one of the most beautiful places in South Africa. And we have people from all over the world just flocking to that place. And if you realize how many people come there and are so attracted to being in that place, and it's so wealthy. If you look at the whole Cape region, it's one of our wealthiest places. And if you think again about positive vortexes, if you think about the south of France, if you think about the south of Italy, the Rivieras, it's as if our Cape region all the way, the Garden Route, If you look at that, that's all our positive vortexes. That's our South African Riviera, if you want to call it. We have a bit in Durban, but down there in the Cape, it's quite magnificent, landscape there, and the positive vortexes. I'm not seeing Ilse in right now, and perhaps she'll come in and be able to share. Let's see if we have any news. Anaya, do we have any news from Ilse?
No, she's completely off.
Yep. We're having
Sorry,
lots of
not off, but she's not connected at all. I'm sure she's desperately trying to reconnect.
Yeah, absolutely. So Anaya, whilst we're waiting for Ilse to come on, I mean, you grew up in the Cape, right? Did you know anything about these power spots whilst you were growing up?
I didn't know about the exact power spots, but there are places that we were drawn to. I went to school in Muizenberg, so we climbed the Boomslang Cave really frequently, and we went through there with a candle, which is
Oh, wow.
way back. Sorry, I'm not going to tell you all how old I am, but it was a long time ago. And those places, I am energy aware. So those places that are just so amazing, and it just completely lights up my lives, because those places I actually recognize where I have been drawn to and have been to them all, but just wandering along, as one does, go for a walk on the beach or go for a walk on the mountain.
Absolutely.
So yes, it's been, they are very familiar, and I'm sure many other people will have found themselves in those places because the energy draws them there.
Precisely. But it's so much more powerful. We feel the good energy. We know that we feel better when we are in these different spots, but it's so much more powerful when we understand the significance of the spots that we go to. Because then it's as if we go there and we pick up and we collect and we receive the gifts that are waiting there for us, instead of just receiving it unconsciously in a way. That's how I see it.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I would have loved to have known all that, have had all that information when I was there in my teens.
Yeah, absolutely. And imagine even now, not many people are traveling from South Africa. And for those people that are not comfortable to traveling out, it's like you can just go down to the Cape. And I know many people who are going down to the Cape now for the holidays. And I want to message all of them to say, go here, there's the power spots, hang out here, I think Ilse is going to have to give us this little map. Ilse's going to have to share this little map with all of us to, especially those that don't live in South Africa, to know exactly where all the spots are. And who knows, maybe Ilse will become our tour guide when we come down to the Cape.
Well, I will be visiting as soon as we can get there. And so we can have a grand tour, anybody's side.
I think so too. Yeah. Oh, that's a brilliant idea, Naya. I'm sure that there's many viewers who will also be wanting to know when that's going to be, so that they can also join us, because I think it's so powerful. When we did
absolutely,
because when we did Adam's calendar with Michael Tellinger, there's just something so magnificent doing it like with him, because you get to know the things that a tour guide who's just learned about the place or found out, would not know, because he's done years and years and years of research on the place. So it's so much more powerful. And that's why for me, it's like, Ilse's been to these places. She's connected with these frequencies and energies and these power spots. Who better to guide us? And imagine all of us being there and being there on a significant day again and activating all the lovely energies that are there.
I was thinking, absolutely, we must do this again when it's midsummer here and midwinter there. And it would just be lovely to have a party all over again.
Precisely. And I guess that's what we loved about it. We said that we're coming together and we're having a party. because, hey, we've got to end this year off with, well, fireworks, in the positive sense, not in any, I was going to say with the bang, but I thought, okay, maybe not a bang, but like
Bangs.
fireworks. Yes.
Just
Um,
energy. So, I
yeah.
mean, the full moon energy from the full Capricorn full moon energy has joined with the solstice energy today. So we are right at the moment, very powerful energies are coming in. So we don't have to do anything. They will come in and we will be received. They're in the earth, they're in the water, and it is a gift from the universe to us. And we will receive, whether we're aware, whether we're not aware, we will all receive.
I love the fact that you're saying that, Anaya, because so often, and we've come from, this whole teaching that we have to like force things. And what you're saying now is one of the 20 dharmas, of money, like that we must come from the energy of receiving rather than taking,
And
So
that's so beautiful.
exactly. So what you're saying is exactly in line with the whole Venus frequency and Venus energies, because right now Venus is in retrograde. So it's all about receiving that beautiful feminine, the sacred feminine that I refer to, that we're just here to receive. We're just here to be open, like Michaela helped us all to open up our hearts to receive. So we're just in that magical, flowing, beautiful, receptive state.
Oh.
That's probably Ilza, is it?
No, that was Viz saying complimenting us.
Okay, that's best in the background. Do you think that we should continue with
perhaps if we can call Elizabeth, hopefully is she in the room? Is she there?
Elizabeth is here, so I will pull in Elizabeth, bring her into the room, and we'll see you soon, Anaya.
Lovely.
Awesome.
I'm so excited for Elizabeth.
Yes. Yes. Hello, Elizabeth.
Hi. It's so wonderful to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Elizabeth. I mean, it was just so magical when you joined the party as well, but in the front row on the stage, not just, joining us from, dancing on the floor. You're dancing on the stage with us today.
Yes, no, I'm so excited. I have a couple stories to share, and
Yes.
one of them that I want to actually start with. It's funny. It's an old Estonian story, and I felt guided. It was funny. I was like, when Anaya asked if I would do this, I was like, okay, universe, what story am I meant to tell? And it actually came through that I was supposed to tell two stories, and I'm kind of searching, like, what's, the first one I knew had to do, with the magic of the sun. And it's like the sacred dance that we experience every year on the solstice. And it's funny. So I found this tale, that actually hasn't really been translated very often into English. And the two translations I found were not really good in terms of like understanding, the English language. So I really felt called to kind of do my own translation. So this is an adaptation of this really ancient classic Estonian tale that I've written up. And so I'm really excited because it reminds me of what you're saying, that people haven't really celebrated solstice, in South Africa in such a long time. And this is a tale that hasn't really been told in quite some time. So I feel like that's kind of also the energy of today, is bringing the ancient, kind of back, into full power and into full visibility, as it were. So is it okay if I tell the first story?
Yeah, please go ahead. The stage is yours.
Okay, beautiful. Let me just get this. Okay. So today I'm sharing, it's a romantic solstice story, and this is a translation I put together. I'm going to butcher the name of so this is a traditional Estonian folk tale, but it was recorded by a man. His name was Frederick Robert Falman, and the story in Estonian is called Koit ja Hammarik, but it translates into dawn and dusk. So this is a solstice tale. And it begins like this. There is great happiness when the days are long and the nights are short. In Estonia, the people call the sun the old man in the sky, or sometimes the grandfather. The grandfather has two faithful servants who have been given the gift of eternal youth. One is called dawn, and the other is called dusk. Every night, dusk greets the magnificent sun as it comes down from the sky, and then dusk sends it to sleep. Every morning, dawn wakes the sun and relights its beautiful orange embers before the sun sets out on another glorious trek across the sky. But this story takes place before all of that. When the sun finished its very, very first journey across the sky, millennia ago, the grandfather said to dusk, "Into your hands, my daughter, I trust the setting sun. You must douse the light every night, so no harm comes to anyone." The next morning, when the sun was about to start its journey, the old man in the sky said to dawn, "Your job, my son, will be to relight the sun every morning and prepare for each new day." And so it was that both of these immortal souls did as they were asked. The sun was up in the sky every day, even during the long dark of winter. But eventually, summer came, and then the sun did not sleep at all, for dusk gave the sun immediately to dawn, who ignited it to new life. This special time, when the sun does not sleep, is the time of summer solstice, when the world is filled with flowers and song, with light and joy. And it was this time that both servants of the old man in the sky looked deeply into each other's eyes for the first time. As dusk handed over the sun to dawn, their hands touched in soft caress, and their lips met in the briefest of kisses. The grandfather's son, has one eye that never closes, and he noticed what had happened in the brief glimpse of night. So the next day he gathered both dawn and dusk together. The grandfather smiled at both his beloved servants and said, "Dear ones, it is my deepest wish that you will be happy together. You two should marry and henceforth work as husband and wife." Dawn and dusk answered together with one voice, "Grandfather, no, do not spoil our joy. Let us be young and in love, as bride and groom forever, so our love will stay fresh and young." The old man smiled at them both and blessed their decision, and then agreed to let them continue as they wanted. Ever since then, there is a special time in the year, 4 short weeks, when dawn meets dusk under the dying light of day. This is the time of summer solstice. Dusk sets the dimming sun into the hands of her beloved dawn. Their hands meet with a soft kiss, and their lips meet in a sweet kiss. Dusk's cheeks are red, and the sky reflects her joy. The old man in the sky fills the world with beautiful flowers and the sweetest sounds, as dusk rests her head on her lover's chest a tad too long. They are happy to meet in these brief but blissful moments, though eventually they separate so they can meet again next year. So the story goes of these two eternal lovers, dawn and dusk, who meet for a short time every summer, only to be parted again. But the beauty is in the coming together. The beauty is in the return. The beauty is in the solstice.
Wow.
So yes, I really wanted to share that because I feel like so many stories they don't have that beautiful simplicity.
Yes.
I really felt, just this love affair of dawn and dusk. We see that every day when we go outside and we see the sun rising and falling with each fresh morning. So I really felt, that way when we look to the sky, I feel like see it with different eyes, knowing that this hill exists.
Well, what you described, Elizabeth, is exactly like what my husband and I love doing, especially when we go out into these remote parts of the world. I think Ilse is there right now. It's this magical space, when you just look up at the sun, you look up at the moon, you actually feel like you in a space that it's so romantic, but yet you just with nature.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just that. Elizabeth, I'm just thinking, is it raining by you?
I'm not sure. I have a heater on. I'm gonna go turn off.
Oh, okay.
And turn that off. That's what I was just noticing myself. I'm not sure. I think my computer might be slightly overheated. It's very excited by all the events of today. It's like there's solstice energy. I know. It's like there's winter solstice, summer solstice. So it's like it's very excited by all the solstice.
Exactly. I mean, come on. We're bringing in all the energies we actually called in everything that's out there, right? And we said, come on, show up right now because we're doing this today.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I had actually another story to share. I'm sorry if my computer is making that weird sound. If it is,
that's fine. I guess that's what the computers do at times. Because I was just wondering whether it was something you were hearing from my side or was it your side. Just making sure.
No, I think that I'm gonna close out everything else. I feel like I'm being guided to do that. Okay, so softer.
There we go.
Yeah, that's. I think sometimes my computer gets finicky. But I feel like that's one of the I've seen I know today we've had so many beautiful speakers, and I know there's been some technical difficulties, but I feel like the energy prevails. We're still here making it work.
Absolutely.
But so the second story I wanted to tell is actually, I think it's probably well known by Western audiences, but maybe not as much by people in South Africa. And that's actually the story of Hades and Persephone. So it's, a Greek myth. And so Persephone is actually the daughter of Demeter, who is the Greek goddess of agriculture, fertility. She's a grain goddess. And, Hades is the god of the underworld. Persephone, like I said, is Demeter's daughter, and she originally in the story begins as the goddess of spring. So if you don't know that much about Greek mythology, just like we have the regular earth, and there's this beautiful place in the clouds called Mount Olympus where all the gods gather, and then there's the underworld down beneath the earth where souls go, when they die. And Hades is, the leader of the underworld, but he's actually a kind of a good guy. It's funny because we think of usually someone being in the underworld as being bad, but he's actually very, he's very stern. He does his job. And, but he doesn't really like to leave the underworld very often until one day when he happens to see Persephone. So it's funny. So he sees Persephone and immediately is struck, by this unconditional, fantastic love for her. And he's like, I need to be with this woman. But of course, he knows that Demeter, her mother, is never going to give her away. So he goes to Zeus, the king of the gods. He gets Zeus's permission. And then the next part of the story, I don't like that much. But basically what happens is, Hades arranges, a way to kind of abduct Persephone and take her into the underworld. So, one day Demeter, goes off on, on sacred agricultural, kind of special business, and Persephone is left in the care of these beautiful sea nymphs. And the sea nymphs kind of for a second, they stop watching her, and Persephone walks into this beautiful garden. It almost appears out of nowhere. And she sees this white flower, it's called the Narcissus Flower. And she is so drawn by the beauty of this flower that she goes, and she bends down to pick it up and to smell, how beautiful it is. And then as she leans down to smell the flower, the earth opens up beneath her, this giant chasm, and she screams, and Hades, comes out, of the depths of the earth and pulls her down with him into the underworld. So it's at first it's kind of a mystery, you know, what happened to her. So, you know, Persephone, it's at first, you know, like she's been abducted, taken into the underworld against her will, but Hades, you know, really does love Persephone, and he treats her with a lot of compassion and respect. He you know, creates a garden for her down in the underworld, and Persephone, you know, even though at first she doesn't want to be there, she eventually comes to see a side of Hades that no one else has ever really seen before, and she starts to fall in love with him. In the meantime, Demeter, her mother, you know, is suddenly like, oh my God, where is my daughter? What's happened? So she, you know, she goes all around the whole earth searching and searching. And because she's the goddess of agriculture, the crops are drying up. You know, everything, people are starting to experience famine because the goddess of agriculture and fertility is in such great shock and such great pain. So finally, you know, Zeus realizes that this can't go on because everyone above the earth is suffering. So eventually he understands, okay, I've got to go. I've got to bring Persephone back to her mother. Otherwise, the earth won't have any life anymore, because so great was Demeter's love for her daughter. And so basically Persephone is going to come back, you know, to the regular world. But as she's leaving, Hades gives her one final gift. And this final gift is actually, depending on what story, it's 1 pomegranate seed or 6 pomegranate seeds. And it's funny because there's a little bit of, controversy about the pomegranate seeds, because by eating these pomegranate seeds, Persephone seals her fate that she must remain in the underworld. Because there's this kind of belief in Greek mythology that if you eat the fruit of the underworld, you are bound there forever. And, you know, Persephone being the goddess of spring, she knew all about seeds. So I really do believe that she knew what she was doing when she accepted Hades' gift and ate this seed of the pomegranate. So when Persephone goes back up, you know, she's given the choice, you know, who do you want to be with? And she says she wants to be with Hades in the underworld, but Demeter still can't bear to part with her. So it's funny. So this is actually the legend that began, you know, the seasons the way we know them today, because there is a compromise that week. So Persephone spends half of the year with Demeter, up on earth, and that's when we have spring and summer, when everything is vibrant and flowering, and the earth is full of joy and wonder. But then the other part of the year, when it's cold and there's snow, is winter, when Persephone is with Hades. So I love that whenever you look outside, if it's cold, you just know that Hades and Persephone are together sharing their love. So even though the story kind of starts out in such a way that it's a little bit, he abducts her, they really do have like a very real love that forms over time. And I love this because I feel I kind of wanted to keep talking about a modern telling of this story, but I don't know if you have any questions first.
Yeah.
Oh, it's okay. Okay. So it was funny. So I found out. So that's the original Greek myth, and again, it's like the whole idea of how we have the seasons that we do today. But I actually thought it was funny. Once I got invited to do this, and I wasn't sure what story to tell. Suddenly, everyone in my life started talking about Persephone. I had people just like, they started talking about, there was a video game named Hades, and I wasn't even mentioning. It was just like, okay, I guess this goddess wants to be brought into this space. Yeah. And so it's funny. So there's actually a modern, it's actually a video game called Hades, where Persephone and Hades have a son, and his parents are separated. Persephone is above, in the earth, and Hades in the underworld. And the whole point of the game is bringing them back together. And that really, stood out to me because, when I was asked to speak here today, I kind of wondered what message was I supposed to bring through, and the message was togetherness. So both stories that I wanted to tell, be it the dawn and dusk coming together, for these 4 weeks every year, and especially this one night that is the summer solstice, it's that coming together. And here we are in this moment, we've come together across different continents, across different traditions, across different nationalities. We have come together. And I feel like, again, that's also the point of solstice. It's a celebration. So I really feel like that's, if I was going to say like the point of today, like, yes, it's a day where there's a lot of power for manifestation and sacred potency, to create. But it really is about us honoring our sacred connections with one another.
That's powerful, Elizabeth, because today is, and I'm just connecting with what you just said. It's about us honoring our sacred connections with each other. It's beyond, some people may think we're coming together for business or whatever. This is beyond that.
Yes, absolutely.
This is beyond that. This is our sacred connection. We can be in different parts of the world, but our light finds each other, right?
Yes, no, absolutely. Because we're meant to come together. This is the moment where like we have to stand together. And that's the reason I feel like so many people are being called and they're leaving. I feel like it's like when we spoke about Persephone, it's her journey. Like I feel like there's a great, transformation that all of us are going on, because Persephone, has to go into the underworld to really become queen and step into her power. So I feel like, especially with all the things that have happened over the last 2 years, with COVID-19, with all of these things, we have, as we've been rising, we've had to descend into the underworld and emerge even stronger. And now that we are emerging with such great power, we must stand together. I feel like really to light up the world. And I think that's part of what you've been saying. When South Africa lights up, and so does the world. And that's why we've gone on these kind of underworld initiations, because there's so much beauty here. There's so much beauty when we come together. And the world, I feel like for all of the hard things that we see, every day, I don't believe that has to be the truth. I really believe the truth is moments like this, where we come together in love.
Yeah. I'm just sitting here and I'm receiving, right? Because like you correctly said, and I guess it's so important for all of us to understand this, that when we step into our power, the shadows are going to come in whatever form. They come in the form of people, things, experiences, right? To kind of make us question, what is it, this coming together, for example? Like, did we listen correctly? Is this the right thing to be doing now? And this is confirmation today, that when the shadows come up, it's not there to hold us back, but it's just there to be removed and for us to step forward and understand that our connection to our truth is more important than anything else.
Yes. I love the way you said that. It's like when the shadows come up, it's just important to stand in our truth. And I also think that, sorry, I'm kind of riffing off the story, but I really feel like it's amazing that the story of Persephone and Hades is the marriage of light and dark.
Yes.
So it's like that marriage within us too, of light and dark, the marriage of the shadow. So, and that's why it's also so powerful, because, today is such a sacred day, because, yes, here in this moment, in South Africa, we're celebrating summer solstice, but because it's also winter solstice, it's again, like the earth is the sacred marriage, even today, of light and dark. So it's like you can't have one without the other. So again, it's how deeply interconnected we all are.
Precisely. And that's just it. That's the magic of life. We can't exist with just one side of us. We are both sides. We are our shadows and we are our lights. And until we embrace both sides of us, then we are not whole. That's why we keep searching. We keep searching and searching and looking for that treasure, like Natalie said, that's outside of us. When that treasure is that acceptance of who we really are. We have both sides at all times.
Yeah, absolutely. And I really feel like the shadow, like a lot of our power can be found in that shadow. Yes. And so my invitation for people who are listening, I find that different stories really activate my power. So I think my invitation, like, for anyone listening, this is a story of, Persephone having, a power activation through the descent into the underworld. But I'm wondering for you listening, what powerful story can you draw inspiration from? What story can you find yourself in that's going to help you in 2022? You know, because I think that's the thing, is these stories have sacred medicine for us. When we take that medicine, it's like a blueprint for us to create our destiny, for us to live our best lives and to shine our light, which is really what we're here to do.
Wow, love that. Absolutely love that. Elizabeth, find our medicine in those stories. I so agree with you. And to our viewers, let us know which story do you find where's your medicine? And where have you found? In which story have you found your medicine? I'm sure Elizabeth would love to know that as well. So
I would.
yeah, absolutely. Are you complete for now?
I think I'm complete. Again, I want to apologize for any like that kind of distortion. But I've loved being here, Mona. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. I mean, technical issues are just part of the whole coming together. You know, we accept each other with however you are, whoever you are, whatever you come with, and that's the beauty of connection. You know. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Elizabeth. We'll see you in a while. I think Elizabeth's here now. I'll let her in. Thanks, Elizabeth. All right. Let's get Ilse back. And Ilse, are you here with us?
Yes, I'm here, but I don't know. My Wi-Fi goes on and off. But I'd like to just quickly show all the photos and then, if it's possible. So can I do the share? Can I do the
Yes,
share
please.
screen again?
Yes, you are welcome to. There we go.
Okay. And this is better this way. Now I can see you and I don't have to speak to myself.
Okay,
So I don't know where
perfect.
I lost you, but this is the whole Cape Peninsula. And
Keep
this
going.
is the
Cave. Yeah, you had the tripod. You were talking about the tripod.
okay, so let's go there. That was the Landatna. Okay, there's the tripod. And that was just on the 18th when we had the sun and the moon opposite each other, which was a very powerful time. Okay, the next one, this is the one that's actually very significant today. That is the Pyramid of the All-Seeing Eye, which is in Glenkern or Sun Valley. So just important, when we go to a sacred site, it is very important to show respect. So you don't go and visit someone and you just open the door and go in. So you actually knock and you make an appointment. So when we go to a sacred spot, like this Pyramid of the Sacred Eye, when you walk there about 5 minutes before you get to the actual rock, you get this guardian. So on the left-hand side, it's this face, and on the right-hand side, there's 2 fingers pointing to that way. So for me, that's always a point where I stop and I ask permission to go in. And the way that you can ask permission is to lift up your left hand and turn it 3 times clockwise and just ask with humility if you can come in and come for a visit. And then just to remember when you walk out, you take your right hand and you do it in the opposite direction and you just say thank you, because we always receive gifts when we go to the sacred spots. So this is always for me a reminder. Sometimes I do forget, but it's really important to acknowledge that. So today, at exactly, was it 58 minutes past 5, the sun was coming through that eye of the all-seeing eye. And that is exactly the where the sun, it's almost like the sun stops and then turns and then it takes its journey to the other side again. And there you can see where the sun comes exactly straight through the eye of the pyramid. Very powerful, actually, on the solar plexus. Okay, the next one, this is the heart chakra of Table Mountain, the Ascension Cave. And also it's a cave that's open in the front and the back. And there you can see the guardians, these 2 guardians for the cage. And then exactly on the solstice moment, the sun comes straight through the center of this cave. And this is an extremely healing cave. So we usually go there and you do a lot of healing. So people lie in the middle and you do hands-on healing or whatever. Very powerful energy, the heart chakra of Table Mountain. Okay, then this is the throat chakra on Constantia neck. If you go towards Houtbaai, on your right-hand side, there's a rock. This is now, looks very big. When you stand there, it looks like this epiglottis. Very powerful to do throat chakra work. And then also when you go straight through to Houtbaai, there's this little, they call it Little Lion's Head. So I don't know exactly where it is, but somewhere, and I've been there, is this rocks. It actually forms like a little cave. And if you sit in that cave, it makes an echo. So you can sit there and sing mantras, or you can make sounds, or you can take your music instruments in. And then the vibration of that sound actually goes into your body, and you can really do a sound healing on yourself. It's small, so only one person can go in at a time.
Wow.
Okay, and then it's Table Mountain from Bloubergstrand. That is the famous look of Table Mountain. But if you look at Table Mountain, this side, the right-hand side, but if you stand with your back to it, the feminine side would be on the left hand. Lion's Head side is the feminine side, and Devil's Peak is the masculine side. And about 2/3 from where the cable car is, that's where the masculine and the feminine actually meets. So if you look there, and it's more visible if you come from Llandudno side, you see the profile of a woman lying on her back. I think it's Nefertiti, like a very fine profile. You don't see it so clearly there, but it is very clear if you know where to look. And then on Devil's Peak side, also when you come from Rondebosch, it's much more, you see it much better. It's a man with like a big nose lying on his back, and you see that from the other side. So they're about 2/3 from the cable car, where the masculine and the feminine meet. That's basically the third eye point, about 2/3 down. There's a route that you can walk up Table Mountain. They call it Platteklip Gorge, which is, I think, the easiest way to walk up Table Mountain. It's very steep, but it's like a paved highway going up the mountain. And then at the point there at the bottom by Plattekloof Gorge, there's a tree, a very famous tree. The indigenous people also did a lot of their ceremonies there. And I can just mention when in 2012 I went to walk the Camino in Spain, and there was a Venus transit that it was pouring with rain, but we were all sitting there in the rain, and I had to choose a name to walk the Camino. And you change for 21 days, you walk, and you walk with this total different persona. And that night I
Ilse.
Isis, but it's also can you still hear
Yes,
me?
Ilse, we
That
didn't hear
is
what
actually the goddess of Table Mountain. So Ishtar is the goddess of Table Mountain. A lot of shadow came up after that, but at that stage I didn't know what was going to happen, but it was all cool. I had to work through a lot of stuff after that. Okay, so that's basically the most important points. There are many more. So it's really, if you go to Table Mountain, really explore those points. Dean Leprini wrote a book, and some of the photos that I used was some of his photos, Pathways of the Sun. So if you're interested in this sacred spots, it's a very good book to have and gives you a lot of guidance on all the different spots there. And then also there's a woman that she started the Cape Camino, and you walk in the form of the figure 8. The center point is Constantia Neck. So then the one side you go around Table Mountain, and then you go through the peninsula, and then you can visit a lot of these sacred spots, and you can also get a guide, and they really use the local people.
Ilse. I see that Ilse's Hopefully she's going to get back because she came to a really important part about using the local people. And I guess that's just it. I mean, I don't know how many of you in South Africa knew that we have our own Camino in the Cape, whilst we're waiting for Ilse to get back, because I would certainly love to go do that.
Yes,
Ilse,
it's lovely.
yeah, tell us more about that. You said that the locals are used for the Camino.
They are used as guides
Oops.
and they also start little businesses where you can eat the local food that they make, and they walk with you and take you through the township so that you can actually learn more about the people of and the wonderful people of South Africa. I really love to support them, and some of them are really making wonderful businesses of this, and I'm very proud of Gabriel that started the Cape Camino, and her whole idea is to uplift everybody and give them jobs. Yeah.
That's just wonderful. Wow, that's incredible, Ilse. Is that the end of your presentation there, Ilse?
Yes, I now rushed through it before
No,
I go out again. I don't know, I'm in a very remote area, so it
yeah.
seems like the internet connection isn't very well here.
But once we still have you, Ilse, I mean that was just phenomenal. I'm sure that as South Africans, it's been such an eye opener for all of us to
Yeah,
understand. I mean, we all run out of South Africa to go to all these sacred sites around the world, and we
exactly.
forget how significant our own country is. I mean, these places that we took for granted, these places that we saw everybody else flocking to, but not fully understanding why they were flocking there. So thank you for this, Ilse. I mean, it was
I'm going
educational,
again.
it was an eye opener. It was as if like, wow, you mean, oh, is that what's happening here in South Africa? Yay. Oh, Ilse seems to have, we've lost her again. But I think that was really incredible. Please do share with us, our South African viewers, what did you get from Ilse's presentation? I mean, I know you got something from everyone's, but to understand the significance of the whole Table Mountain range, because every mountain, and I mean, we've got some significant mountain ranges in South Africa. When you think about the Drakensberg, you think about the Magaliesberg, and you realize the age of the Magaliesberg mountain range. You just realize how significant this entire environment of South Africa, Southern Africa, and all the energy spots in this space as well. It's not just the gold because, well, we know how high frequency gold is and we're all sitting on it. So I see Ilse's gone out and let's do this. I think we're ready for Guinea Hernandez. Let's bring her on. And there she is. Hello, Guinea.
Hello. I'm in a very dark place. I
I
feel
see.
I feel like I'm in the underworld.
But you've got beautiful light radiating from you all the
Yes,
way there.
I'm trying to make this gold come around because
Exactly. Yes, you've got all that gold around you. So to our viewers, Vinny is there in Sweden.
I'm in
And
Sweden.
yeah, so we are having a magical experience today. I didn't share with our viewers. I was sharing about all the speakers today, Gunny. And Gunny, you must tell me whether I'm pronouncing this correctly. I hear you pronounce it, but let me see if I can pronounce it. You say you are a Vala, right? And a kinesiotherapist, a oracle, and a soul reader. Can you just explain to it and I'm looking at the two words, vulva or a Vala?
Vala is
Yes.
like the English version. The vulva
Yeah.
she is like a Nordic seer, magician, fortune teller, and we are trying to take these ancient knowings and traditions to bring them forth, to use them today with this, because I will do with your, at the end of the, I would like to do a small rune drawing with one
Ooh.
rune for you to see what we can, what this comes out of this. And because I think the midsummer, as you call it, not because they have moved it. This is like a weekend. It's Friday, Saturday, Sunday around the solstice, because it's the most important holiday in this country, because we are worshiping the sun.
Oh, wow.
And there's been ancient, when it's been like in the Nordic Bronze Age, like 1,700 years before Christ. There was this rock carvings, and there was the carvings of the sun wheel, and this like they're worshiping the sun, because this is now we have I have 5 hours of sunlight,
Yeah.
and it's so dark. And then during midsummer there's like 4 hours of night, so there's this difference between this.
Yeah.
And, but I've been to the northern of Sweden, like in a small place called Abisko, and they have this midnight sun. There are 24 hours of sun. You can see the sun circling around the mountains. It's very interesting.
Oh, wow. That's incredible. And will that be around the summer times, Gunny?
Yes, that's around the solstice. You can see the sun all day and all night. It's incredible.
That's exactly. I mean, it's a phenomena you're trying to comprehend, And I guess, like you say, in the summer times, I mean, you have just 4 hours of night. So it's what, 18 hours of, no?
No.
What's it, 20 hours of sunlight?
Yes.
Wow.
So everyone gets very activated, and it's hard to rest and go to bed at night. It's very difficult. So now we are.
Exactly.
I'm trying to lift myself up here.
Well, we're sending you all the sun from South Africa. We're sending it your way.
We need it.
Exactly. Now, Gunny, there's something that you said that's been very interesting for me. That how important, or the summer solstice is one of the most important celebrations, And what would be, because okay, I'll come to the next question. I'm like, what would be the reason for that? I mean, we understand it's life and vitality and abundance and manifestation. But it's like, I guess for us here in South Africa, there's certain things, there's certain traditions and festivities that are celebrated in Europe that we may not understand how much more significant it is there. And here we've thought that maybe we should abandon all those practices and rituals.
I don't think so, because we need each other. It's like there's this spiral from the north, and you spiral up now the sun from the south, and we are in this 0 point in the middle, and we are all connected, like in the, as they say, in the world tree. There was this going straight from the north down to South Africa, and we are all connected in that way. And it's very, very interesting because this worship of the sun is so important. Because it's like now we have this tradition of have these ceremonies to really bring the sun back to us, because it's so dark. We have to do these rituals, and they had to in the ancient days when they and to really to is it possible that the sun could come back? We have to do something. You have to do ceremonies, and we have to do. And then in the solstice, summer solstice, when the sun is there, and it's everyone is so happy, and oh, the sun is here, and there's traditions, and like we know we have this maypole, they call it, like this. It's like a cross. It's a Christian cross with two rings around it, and like there are some people are dancing around it. They're singing. They're playing folk music, and there's very much in special parts in Sweden, like it's called Dalarna. They are very traditional with traditional clothing, folkloristic, and it's people are coming from everywhere just to be there, to watch, to be part of it all. And in other parts of Sweden, everyone is going to the coast, to be at the coast, to be up all night, to eat special things, like you have to eat something salty. That's why we eat this pickled herring. And we have because as you want this is a very special night as well, when you can, in your dreams, if you can sleep, you can see your upcoming partner. He can be in your dreams, or she can be in your dreams. And you should walk to pick these wildflowers, to put them under your pillow, just for your dreams to be there, to like this is like this your upcoming partner is very, very important as well,
Right.
for young people.
Yeah.
And the dreams that you have on this solstice night is also very magical, and like fortune telling.
Wow, I love that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
So Gunny, would you suggest, like, say, for anyone out there right now, if they want to write, I mean, I'm sure many people out there would be looking for their ideal partner, or looking to manifest something, that they can write it out, put it underneath their pillow. Did you say with white flowers?
yeah, with flowers, and there should be 7 flowers, especially 7 different flowers.
Yeah.
From 7 different parts of when you are doing your walk.
Yeah.
So, and this like this is so because everyone wants to be out, everyone wants to be by a lake or a sea, everyone wants to be in a camper or a trailer or something like that, and no one wants to be inside. Everyone wants to be out.
Right.
And everyone wants the sun to be there. But the weather in this country is very unpredictable. So it could be like at this time of the year could be 10 degrees Celsius. And
Wow.
at the midsummer could also be 10 degrees Celsius
Oh,
with
wow.
rain. So, so when you want to be like at this 25 degrees Celsius with the sun, but it isn't always like that. And everyone is so sad. And it was the most horrible midsummer ever. And
Well, you know what to do now. Whenever the weather is not the way you'd love for it to be during midsummer, just we agreed we're going to connect when it's winter there and summer here and summer here and winter there. We're going to connect so we can keep sending the energies across.
yes,
Right?
so you can have the sun. And you can
Exactly.
have this on my
Yes.
head with the flowers.
Yeah.
Everyone is doing this, going around with flowers on their head, and
Wow. That's just for me, Gani, that's just so incredible. Because I think it's so important for us to reconnect to nature again in that way. And I guess for me, it's quite illuminating to know that up in the north, maybe here in South Africa, many of us are not familiar with the traditions up in the north. You know, when you think of the Nordic traditions, we didn't realize how significant the sun is, because I've always heard about the sun being significant in Hinduism and in even the Egyptian culture. You know, you hear about the sun god Ra, but this is really illuminating and educational today. And I guess that's what it's about. That's how we get to expand our consciousness when we understand the similarities of everything around us.
yes, it's important, and it's important to that we have the connection, and we can take traditions and use them. And for you as well, you can go out barefoot, for example, which is very important. And you can pick flowers and you can bring them home, and you can have this little magical tradition and by yourself, and you can write something and put it on your pillow, and you can sleep on, see what you dreams, what comes forth, and use that as a tool.
Yeah.
Even if
Yeah.
maybe our flowers, they are so small, but maybe have these huge flowers. I don't know.
Yes, in South Africa, don't try to put a protea under your pillow. Well, if you do, make sure you have quite a stack of pillows, because proteas are quite big and they can be a bit pokey. You know, they are one of our national flower. But that's a great tip, Guinea, not to put big flowers under your pillow. You may not see properly. Oh, that's too funny. So, Guinea, you said you wanted to do a ruin exercise. Would you
Yes.
like to do that now, or do you want to share something else first?
I just wanted to share about, because in this old Nordic tradition we had this old Nordic goddess. It's called Sunna or soul, and there is a rune as well called soul. So I think that because she has this carriage or cart that is drawn by two horses. The one for the daytime and the other one for the nighttime. The one is in the front and the other is in the back. And on her back there is a wolf running to speed up this travel. And so it happens, and there's you can blow on the carriage as well, because you want to speed up this energy of the sun.
Right.
And the sun, the soul Sunna, she's the sister of the moon, and Sunna will also give birth to a daughter, because the Nordic gods, the Asana, they decided to build an empire with a wall around, and no one should be let in. Not even the sun or the moon should be let in, and then and the goddess Freya as well, because she's the god of the love, and so and then um, and then they found out without the sun and the moon, everything would be destroyed. It would be like this Ragnarök, when the world went up to nothing. It's blown out, right? And it would extinguish the whole world. But the life we have, it's so powerful that it won't die.
Yeah.
It will return, even if disasters happen around us. The life, there is this little life, and that's why soul is giving birth to that daughter, because that daughter is going to shine at the dawn of the new time that's coming. And I think it's we are there in a way, with this disasters happening around us, and I think will give us a bit of a hope that this little life, this little sprout that brings life back, and there will be the sun coming back to us, and there will happen good things, because this life force is so powerful. It won't die.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I'm going to. So for a conclusion of this, I think I will draw a rune to see what's happening in South Africa
Yeah.
now with this solstice. So I have my runes here in this. So I'm gonna feel. Take some time.
Yeah. You've got time.
Gotta pick the right rune. Let's see. Come. Let's see. Where are we? There.
Yeah. You're in the middle there.
There's a rune. It's the first rune in the rune alphabet. It's called Ur, and it's the new beginning. It's the reborn. You can take new decisions to be another one, to be another person, to take a step out in the unknown, because there is great potential for everyone. There's force, there's power in this. Is health, is how you create your reality will bring the next outcome to your life, how you see upon things. And it's the beginning of the cycle. It's a new beginning. But this is like the cycle, you build up and you destroy, and build up and destroy. And this is the power to build. So I think that's very good.
It is. Wow.
To connect with your ancestors as well, to connect with the old and transform it to something new, and take the learnings from what had happened and what we can do about it.
Yeah.
I think
That's powerful. Thank you, Kenny. Because it's so interesting. The message has been loud and clear for us in South Africa, and that message has come through since August this year. That we have to reconnect with our ancestors. It doesn't matter what we've been doing. It doesn't matter who came to share this message with me. Wherever they've come from, it's been about connecting with our ancestors. So that's a beautiful message and confirmation once again for us girls. Thank you.
yes, thank you. It's so nice to being here, too nice to speak to all of you, and so nice to connect with everyone.
Oh, that's wonderful, Kitty.
This,
And I love the way you showed up in your summer solstice costume and ceremonial gear today. It looks fabulous, by the way. Like everybody today, it's just been fabulous. So appreciate you, Ginny. That's wonderful. Are you complete with your sharing? Got more to share?
yeah, I think it's, if everyone is happy with this, I'm fine with this, and I wish you everyone a very happy solstice to continue and to do some new magical things in your life.
Oh, I love that. That's a great message for all of us. Thank you, Gani. I'm
Thank
just
you.
going to allow everybody else in so we can have the final connection with everybody being in here. And there we go. Everyone's here. And I guess this is what it is. It's a group of women, it's a group of friends coming together. I guess it's an important acknowledgement for me because we all came through one coach, one teacher, one mentor that has brought all of us together. And I think it would be remiss of me to not acknowledge her, to not acknowledge Ayala Indigo for connecting all of us, because that's what connection is. You know, it's us, we're part of the soul tribe. And it doesn't matter where we are across the world, someone will light up the path to bring all of us together. And then we start creating magic from that space also, because that's why we are here. So to each of our speakers, I'm going to give you a chance to, say something before we leave today. But to each of you, I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you for bringing your wisdom, for bringing your light, for answering the call when we have these crazy epiphanies that South Africa requires some more light. South Africa requires an activation of light. And everybody shows up in such a magical way. And I think for me, that says a lot about the journey that we are on, each of us individually and collectively, the journey that we are on. And I guess to all the people that have been here and been participating in this event live today, and I know many people are going to be watching the replay, please do connect with the energy transmissions today, because it's been phenomenal. I mean, for those of us that have been here live, it's just been phenomenal. And I know the benefit that will come. Share this with everybody else out there. So I'm going to hand over to you now. Who wants to go first? Final words for Summer Solstice 2021 in Africa. Anaya,
I'll
you
go. Okay.
Natalie, you go.
Oh, okay. Yeah, keep on shining your light and love yourself. And that way you'll love everything around you.
Thank you, Natalie.
For me, it has just been a ceremony of oneness, of the importance. We might be north and south, but on this day, we're one and we're all together. And this is fabulous. We can't have one without the other.
Fabulous. Thank you. Elizabeth Taylor.
I'll go next. Yeah, I just wanted to say at the end, I think was kind of coming through as I say goodbye. It's funny, we were talking about the colors we felt called to wear today, and I just knew I had to wear red, and I didn't know why. And as I was sitting here, I realized that my story with Persephone, there's the pomegranate, which is red. So, I feel like on this very special day where manifestation is given extra potency, I'd like, all of you, if you're open, just close your eyes for a minute. And I'd like you to imagine a pomegranate seed in your hand. And into this pomegranate seed, I want you to cast your wish. And this is your wish for 2024. And now I want to call in the goddess Persephone and really have her bless this sacred wish of yours. And now I'd like you to take that sacred wish, that blessing and gratitude, and bring it to your heart. And just know that next year is blessed by this wonderful season.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you. Michaela?
I agree with everything what it was said already, and it's a pure connection. Just one reminder, Africa and whoever is there, that African people, you are a pure beauty. Don't forget it. Africa is really pure beauty, and that's what's in your roots. Remember that you are very rich, and beautiful people, and that's as your country. And all this connection, it was everything. What was said. Just wishing you all the best in your journey, and be you. Try to listen to your heart and follow your dreams. Thank you.
Thank you, Michaela. Is it Kitty or Ilse's going next?
I can go to while my internet is still on.
Yes, absolutely.
I also just want to thank all of you, and what really touched my heart is the South and the North, the people of the North and the South together on one call. And it reminds me of that tripod place where the sun and the moon is like opposites of each other. And what I'm taking is really to allow the moon to shine deep into my subconscious and show me what is the next to come up to fruition. And it's not necessarily always the shadow or the dark stuff. There's a lot of gifts inside as well. And then use the sun that is really now very strong to take the next step, to take the action that is needed for this new world to be birthed. So thank you so much to be part of this. It really was a great session and it touched my heart. And I missed such a lot, but I will watch the replay and catch up. So thank you, all of you. It was lovely. Lovely.
Thank you, Ilse. Thank you so much. Goody, final words?
Yes, I can't. I must say, we need each other all over the world, from north to south, from south to north. We have to be more connected to each other to feel that we are all one on this earth, and we are here together to bring it, to light it up from each other. So thank you for being here, and thank you for all of you. So
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Goody.
Thank you.
And to our viewers, thank you. Thank you for, well, I would say, allowing us to show up for all of you. Because you know my mission. My mission is people first. My mission is to light up this country, to fulfill Nelson Mandela's dream, to build the country of our dreams. And building the country of our dreams is not just for us, it's for all of us across the world. And this is what it's about. Today was a reflection of our oneness. As Ilse says, the North and the South coming together. There's no separation. We found the perfect time to come together so that everybody can receive the gifts that are here in the South and the gifts that are there in the North. So to all our viewers, thank you. Thank you for always showing up. And thank you for choosing you today, whether you are here live or you're going to watch the replay. Because this is what it is. When each of us lights up, we light up the world, no matter where we are. And for that, I guess I'm in deep gratitude to this amazing woman that are here before us today, as well as to each and every one of you out there. And let's go into 2022 and let's embrace the gold. That frequency is full on us. And let's sprinkle that gold all around. Let's send the gold out from South Africa out into the world, because that's the energy that we want to connect with right now. Be the goal, embrace the goal, love the goal, share the goal, because that's what we're here to do. So until the women of the light unite show up again, we will bid you all farewell and we'll see you in the new year. So until next time, ciao for now.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.